With its immense size and powerful body, the Siberian tiger prowls the dense forests of eastern Asia in search of prey. Specially adapted for the frigid climate in which it resides, it is a sophisticated predator, capable of taking down almost any other animal, no matter its size. But because of the value placed on its luxurious fur and the supposed medicinal purposes of its parts, the animal is under constant threat of extinction from human activity. Meticulous conservation efforts and protection from local governments will be required to bolster current population numbers. The Siberian tiger is the largest cat in the world. It averages about 3.3 meters, or 11 feet in length, with a tail measuring 1 meter, or 3 feet. Adult male Siberian tigers can weigh up to 320 kilograms, or 700 pounds, while females are significantly smaller, weighing up to 180 kilograms, or 400 pounds. Siberian tigers are the largest and most powerful subspecies of tigers in the world, and among the most powerful animals of any species anywhere. Siberian tigers have a thick coat of fur to protect them from the frigid climates of their native habitat. The fur consists largely of pale orange colorations around the head, legs, and back, plus additional white colors around the eyes, snout, cheeks, and inner legs. The most distinctive feature of the Siberian tiger is the narrow black stripes around the head and body, which provides camouflage and stealth in the forests. However, it has relatively fewer stripes compared to other tiger subspecies. Other distinguishing characteristics of the Siberian tiger include thick paws, short pointed ears, flattened head and snout, a big muscular body, and a tube-shaped tail with black and white markings. It has longer hind legs than front legs, which enables it to jump truly impressive distances in the air to subdue prey. Their long and fearsome claws and teeth allow them to latch on and prevent the prey from escaping. Tigers mainly communicate through their sense of smell and their limited vocalizations. Their long whiskers also help them to navigate close spaces, especially in the dark. However, like many other felid species, Siberian tigers lack a complex social structure. They are largely solitary creatures that aggressively police their territories through either claw marks on trees or scent marks sprayed with urine and secretions. This tells tigers to be wary of intruding on an individual's current hunting grounds. Despite their fierce territorial aggression, these tigers are actually somewhat mobile animals that have been known to travel hundreds of miles at a time in search of homes and mating opportunities. Young adult males, in particular, may move frequently before establishing a more permanent territory. Male and female territories often overlap slightly for mating purposes. The Siberian tiger once occupied a large swath of territory across the modern-day Russia Far East, northeastern China, and the Korean Peninsula, but due to population loss, the subspecies is now restricted to a narrow range around the Sokote-Alin mountain range near the Pacific coast of Russia. It is also possible that the range extends slightly into North Korea and China. These tigers tend to prefer the dense mixed forest around the region. Their distribution appears to be based on the presence of prey in the area. The Siberian tiger is a carnivorous apex predator that feeds almost entirely on meat. Its diet consists primarily of large ungulate prey, meaning hoofed animals, such as elk, roe, deer, and wild boar. Other potential prey includes rabbits, salmon, and even, on rare occasions, bears. They have also been known to feed on livestock in areas where tigers and humans overlap. They prefer to hunt at night when their prey is most active. Despite their enormous size, tigers are silent and stealthy hunters that will sneak up on prey under the cover of rocks and trees to ambush and kill them almost instantly with a powerful bite to the neck. They can also run at top speeds of around 30 to 40 miles per hour for short periods to chase prey. Only a small fraction of ambushes will actually result in a successful kill, so the tiger must be consistently vigilant for good hunting opportunities. They can eat up to 60 pounds of food during a single successful night, but they can survive on far less if they cannot catch an adequate amount of food. The tiger does not usually eat every part of the deceased prey, leaving behind parts of the carcass for other animals. Siberian tigers almost always try to avoid contact with humans, but a few animals have been known to eat people if their traditional prey is absent, or they cannot hunt successfully because they are sick or old. These types of man-eaters are rare, but once they've begun eating human flesh, they often may make it a regular part of their diet. As you can see, Siberian tigers are extremely strong animals and have amazing qualities, but can they cope in Antarctica? Antarctica is very different than Siberia, except for the cold, of course. Antarctica is essentially an enormous desert, thus the reason for a complete lack of vegetation, with the only types of vascular plants except for two on the west coast of the Antarctic Peninsula. The polar biome in the north, as well as the tundra, are not home to Siberian tigers. The northern edge of the boreal forests is their northern limit. Animals that spend any amount of time on Antarctica are semi-aquatic and use the continent as a temporary resting or breeding area. The lack of flora beyond mosses prohibits the residence of any kind of herbivores. It is not simply the cold that prohibits plant life. The shallow soil does not allow vascular plants to establish the extensive root system that provides them with the water and the nutrients they require, along with giving them the stability to withstand the extreme winds there. Even more problematic is the scarcity of water. Antarctica is a vast, frozen desert, very different from the northern polar regions in this regard. Many people are surprised to learn that it does not snow there. So, you don't even have the minimum requirements for a basic terrestrial community, with producers providing a steady food supply for herbivores, and in turn, the herbivores providing a food supply for omnivores, or carnivores such as the tiger. But what if you gave the tiger plenty of food and fresh water? Would it be able to survive? The answer is a resounding no. Consider the fact that nothing stops the tigers from migrating to the northern polar biomes, but instead, their extreme northern limit is the boreal forests. In fact, there are no species of cat, not even the lynx, that inhabits the polar regions of the north. This is probably due partly to the lack of a consistent food supply, and with polar bears filling the niche of an apex predator, there simply isn't enough food to support more. In reality, no cat species is well adapted to cope with the harsh conditions. If they were, they would have most likely moved there in the recent past. There are none at all, not even in the tundra biome, which is slightly more hospitable than the polar biomes. So as far as adaptations, none would be sufficient. Polar bears are adapted to the extreme cold and bareness of the polar biome in a way that Siberian tigers are not. Tigers lack the 6-inch layer of fat that polar bears have, which helps insulate them from the cold. Could Siberian tigers simply evolve this? Possibly, if the necessary biological information was contained in the genotype of the tigers. Adaptations do not come about upon an as-needed basis, but are purely random. And to produce this layer of fat, other necessary physiological changes would need to occur, which without prior genotype information available, would be extremely unlikely to occur. You might ask, what about the sensible adaptation of white fur? Again, does the gene for white fur exist in the genotype of the Siberian tiger? Possibly. So, would the tiger change to a pure white coloration? Possibly. Though again, we find it unlikely, as no truly white tigers have been documented. The tiger's tail would be a disadvantage because it increases heat loss. Is the tiger's tail going to fall off? Only if a random mutation made the gene functionally advantageous enough for it to be passed on to more offspring, and the offspring's taillessness gave them a competitive advantage to reproduce. But once again, it would only occur based on complete randomness. If the gene does not exist for taillessness in tigers, then it would not appear. In conclusion, Siberian tigers do not exist in polar regions because they're simply not adapted to them. And even placing a tiger in a polar region with sufficient food would not allow it to survive. Now that you've heard our opinion, we want to know yours. What do you think would happen if Siberian tigers were relocated to Antarctica? We are waiting for your answers in the comments. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. You can also leave a comment with what you would like to see in the following videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time!